Hi, nobodies. Today is a snowy day. I love snow. Uh, Fun fact, well, it's a partial fact because I forget. But um, the reason why it's so quiet when it's snowing, it's one of two things. Either the snow absorbs the sound or the space between the snowflakes absorb the sound. That's why it sounds silent. So today, as I've got nothing to do. Well, I think I have something to do. I'm going to take a quick tangent on this. I do this thing called nap sleep. Now, nap sleep is like when people are awake and you're sleeping. Uh, you're aware of so much going on around you, but you're asleep. I have a lot of trouble deciphering what's real and what's dream during that time. Now, I mean, obviously there are some things that I'm like, okay, I know that didn't happen, you know, but there's a lot of stuff that, like I'll say, did you say this? Because I'll think, did this person come and say this? Because sometimes the stuff that happens, it's like so commonplace that it just seems real. That did you come in and ask me if I had $5? No, I did not. Oh, okay. That was dream. And it's because during that time, all of my dreams are really, really lucid. They're very fucking real. Now, granted, sometimes I'll wake up and go, okay, I know that wasn't real because, like, the dream will take place in my mom and dad's old house, which has been torn down. So that one's pretty easy to figure out that I walked across the hall to the bathroom. There is no bathroom across the hall. Or or even if it's like my old house. It's like, well, I ain't there, so that didn't happen. you know, I'm not there. Um so today what I wanted to talk about is about um, making decisions that you know I always say that like I'd like to be one of those people who doesn't give a fuck. I don't care what people think. To a degree I don't. But also to a degree I do. It depends on what it is. Like I care what people think of me. But if I decide I'm going to have a beer, or if I decide I'm going to take a trip, or if I decide I'm going to date this person, there's going to be people who are going to say, I don't like your decision. I don't like your choice. But they're not living your life. You cannot you should not live your life doing things because that's what people want you to do. I have seen people who they're always doing, well, such and such needs me to do this and such needs me to do it. Like they are constantly like running themselves ragged because they've got so much shit to do for other people. My mom wants to see me. I have to go to this party. I have to get a gift. I have to go to the post office. I have to, because at the post office, I'm supposed to be doing it. I need to go to Walmart and send some money to somebody or Western Union. I need to do this and this and this and this. And you really have to balance doing for others and choosing to do things for you. You should not live your life in service to everyone else. Because you're going to, at the end of the day, you're going to say, well, what did I do that I wanted to do? There has to be a certain amount of, I wanted to do this. Doing things just to make everyone else happy. Making decisions because you don't want to deal with people saying, well, I don't like your decision. I think that's a mistake. These people are not living your lives. They don't see what you see. They don't know what you know. They don't think what you think. I don't care how tight you are with those people. I don't care how well those people know you. They don't know all that. They know what they see, what they think, what they feel. Are they looking out for your best interest? Quite possibly. A lot of people in your life that have been in your life, they're looking to make decisions in your best interest, but it's based on their perspective of your best interest. They don't know. You know, like suicidal tendencies say, how can you know? How can you say what my best interest is? You know, you can only say based on what you perceive. So, and the person who does everything just to, well, I'm going to do my whole day is spent, I go to work, I go visit this person or that person, like maybe you've got a schedule of certain people that you have to meet up with. How much are they putting towards you? Is it, do you want to, or do you feel obligated to? And let me tell you, there are very few people you have an obligation to. Do I have an obligation to somebody who I want to be my friend? Probably not. Do I have an obligation to my kids? Yes. I have an obligation to do all that I can for my kids. But once again, there is a perception thing. What I feel like doing for them may not be what they want done for them, may not be what their dad wants done for them by me, but that is, I have an obligation to do as much as I can for them. If my parents were alive, I would have an obligation to do certain things for them. If my ex and I were together, I would have obligations towards him. As it is now, my only obligations towards my ex are as friends and pertaining to the kids. So many people spend so much time making decisions and doing things and chasing their tail, trying to please all these people who are not living your life. You're living your life. They don't have to understand the decision. Now, granted, if you're on drugs or you're an alcoholic, you should always give people their chance to say, hey, here's the problem I've got with your decision. Here's the problem I've got with this particular thing you're doing. Give them time to state their case. Give them that open mind that they feel like I'm making bad decisions. So I need to give them a chance to voice that. That is my obligation to them because I care about them and I feel that they care about me. So you listen, but you are under no obligation to do what they think you ought to do. When people ask me, what should I do? And it actually happens more than you would think. But when people ask me that, I have an idea of what they should do. I'm like, well, if it were me, I would do this. And I could tell them what to do. I could say, you need to do this. Most of the time, unless it's something where I'm like, okay, well, you need to call this number and talk to these people and get this set up. that kind of thing, yeah, I'm totally going to tell them what they need to do because they've already come up with a solution to a problem. They just need help doing it. But if it comes down to should I do this or shouldn't I do this, my first question is going to be, what do you want to do? What do you want? And I think, and even I've seen like a hack where when you've got two choices and you don't know which one to choose, you flip a coin, and whichever you want to see, that is the decision you should make. That's what you want. And it's true, you know, if you got a choice between A or B, A is heads, B is tails, when you flip that coin, you have a pretty good idea of what you want to see come up. And that is the answer to what you want. Now, what we want is not always the best course of action. You know, like if it came to a job, you could say, well, this job is going to be more fun, more money, but it's in a field that may not be stable in 10 years. This other job is a field that will be stable in 10 years, but it's not as much fun. It's not as much money, but, you know, the future of it is solid. I know that in 10 years, this job will still exist and I can have it. You know, there's always pros and cons to decisions. And sometimes you do have to look at want versus logic and analytics to make a decision. But when somebody asks me, what should I do? I am almost always going to say, what do you want to do? We live in a world, there's a lot of selfishness, but I think that there's also a lot of people who do what they think they should. They do what they think will get them the most approval or validation from the people that they care about. They'll do the safe thing, you know, they'll settle. And settling is okay in certain things, but you have to have at least a few decisions that are want-based. Because what is the point of living your life if you don't have some want-based things happening? If it's all about making other people happy. Because let me tell you something. You can choose to do everything you do in service of others. You can basically live your whole fucking life the way everyone else wants you to live it. You know, get married, buy a house, go to school, have kids, get a career, you know, do all of that they say you should be doing. And you can be completely miserable. Why do you have to do all that stuff? Why do you have to get married to, if you're a guy, why do you have to get married to a girl and have kids? Does that make people say, well, he's always done the right thing? No, you've just done something that a lot of people do. You've just done something. Does it really matter if you choose to be gay? Or I guess you don't choose to be, but if you choose to live your truth, if you choose to live your truth, is that bad? You can still have the spouse, the kids, the career. You can have all that other stuff that everybody thinks you have to have. and you can be in love. You can be sexually satisfied. You can feel like you're living your best life. Or you can be sitting there with somebody you're not physically attracted to and be miserable. Now, I mean, if you can do that, if you feel like it's a choice, okay, you do you. Because like I said, there's no right or wrong answer on living your life. You don't have to do the marriage and kids and career route. And a lot of people, they really, a person gets married and they're like, when are y'all going to have kids? When are y'all going to have kids? And it puts in these people's minds, we got to have kids. And it is strange when you come across somebody and they're like, oh, I don't want any kids. Everybody just kind of like, what? How could you not want kids? I mean, especially if you're female, how could you not want to be a mom? It's a choice for your happiness. I mean, if you would rather have 3 dogs than 3 kids, you do you, boo-boo. I mean, that's a choice you make. You don't have to bring a life into this world if you don't want to. If you're just doing that because everybody thinks that that's what you should do, and yeah, they're going to sit there and go, oh, poor girl, she doesn't have any kids. She never got to be a mom. Well, maybe she didn't want to be a mom. Maybe that was just what people told her she was supposed to do. I mean, a lot of people are in, they got married, they had kids, they did all that, then they went through like a horrible divorce, found out, like certain things were not something that they wanted to do. And for anybody thinking that I did not want to be a mom, I wanted to be a mom. But I'm not the kind of mom that I think kids need. I'm not very hands-on. I mean, I'm a good guide. I'm good for hanging out. I do all right. But I am not the mom that I wanted. I'm a better mom than the mom I want, than the mom I got. But I can't be that person that I wanted to be my mom, So I don't regret that decision. And when I got married, I wanted to get married, but it was also expected. You got a baby, you get married to the dad, So, yeah, there was want, but there was also obligation, it seemed, to pleasing everyone else. But there are people that just don't want that. There are dads who don't want to be dads, but they didn't get their shit snipped. They didn't make sure a girl was on birth control. They didn't wear a condom, or all of those things failed. And now he's forced to be a dad because somebody else made that choice for him, But I mean, if he chose not to use protection, not to check and see if she was on the pill, and all this other stuff, it's like, dude, you didn't do anything to prevent it. And now you've got this kid. So it doesn't matter about want at that point. You have a responsibility. I mean, want and not want doesn't really matter if you're not doing it. I mean, if shit happens. I'm not saying a kid is shit, but shit happens. Things you don't want to happen sometimes. You have to deal with those things, even if you don't want to. That's part of being an adult. You do the best you can. I am not good at the day-to-day being a mom thing. I'm just not. It's not out of selfishness. It's out of My stress goes up when those, my kids are great individually. You put them all together for a long period of time, they'll stress the sucker out. So that's my bid for the day. Make your decisions primarily based on what's going to make you happy. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're not pissing everybody off. You want to make sure that you're not making just really bad, selfish decisions all the time. But it's okay to choose what you want when everyone else can say you're being selfish. You do you. Choose what you want. And if people don't like it, they can walk. If you're not hurting anybody physically or mentally, do what you want. Fuck what they expect of you. What they expect you to do. What they think is the right decision for you. How can you know? How can you say what my best interest is? I decide what my best interest is. And I don't have to explain that to people. I don't have to tell people why I feel I'm right. I just have to say, I decide what's in my best interest. I'm the one who goes to sleep with me every night. I'm the one who will stay awake if there's a problem. If I'm not happy, I'm the one who suffers. And indirectly, everyone else suffers. If you're miserable, they feel that shit. Some people are major transmitters and some people are empaths. And, your misery is felt by folks. So, I am having a good day. I'm going to continue having a good day because I'm going to make it so. You can make your day so. Because every moment is an opportunity to turn things around. You just have to choose to process it in a way where it can break you, and that's a whole negative thing, or it can roll off your back and you can say, I can't do anything about this, but I'm not going to let it break me today. This is a hiccup. So I'm going to go now. Have a great